That is a true story. Austin Slater hitting home runs and sitting down with us. We are live at Scottsdale Stadium. If you're just getting in your car, this is no joke. Brian Murphy, Marcus Boucher, the Murph and Marcus Show. We're here in Arizona, bro. Your first Scottsdale Stadium trip. Thumbs up.
Oh, double thumbs up, Murph. I wish I had 2 more hands so I can give you 4 thumbs up.
I mean, it's a spectacular day. Baseball's in the offing, and Austin Slater, who's now, can I tell, veteran. Austin Slater.
Officially a veteran.
Good morning.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Dude, you walk around, you're like, I'm the guy. You didn't even know something come to me, right?
Yeah, not so much about that. I mean, maybe I was for like a day, and then Pablo showed back up, and then he's got about double the amount of time with the Giants that I do.
I was going to say, because currently, before Pablo showed up, you were the longest tenured Giant currently on this roster. How's it been seeing Pablo back in the building?
It's been great. You know, Pablo brings an energy I think the fans are aware of in the clubhouse, and then I think something that goes a little less talked about is his work ethic. And, you know, he's first one in the clubhouse every day. He's first one in the cages. He sets a great example for the guys. You know, I think that's something that I've seen for a really long time. And some of the guys that haven't been around as long, you know, it's great to have him back and they can see like, hey, this is what it takes. This is what you have to do. This is the example that you set. To try to win championships.
Yeah, Austin Slater. I'm checking it. 2017 was the debut year.
Yes.
I mean, you go back to Boch.
I do, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh. Boch, and now a new manager.
Now a new
Bob Melvin.
Bo Melvin.
Early impressions.
Great. I think he's a player's coach. He's easy to talk to. He's got a great feel for the game and a great feel for what we need to do to get to where we need to be.
Yeah, and you know, this is sort of delicate because the coaches last year were all great. We liked them all. You know, Kai was a nice guy, and Gabe obviously was very earnest. He was different with the media, but he had a different style with the media. I mean, he was very, I don't know, he's very thoughtful, you know. Boch was different. He was the drawling, lonesome dove Texas guy, you know, and all that. But would you say this new coaching staff has identified themselves in a different way than the previous coaching staff? Maybe more, I guess the question is, old school?
I think it comes off as more old school. Well, they are older. Generally, you know, I think we had maybe like the youngest staff in the league last year, and I really enjoyed that staff. We had a lot of great people. I enjoyed working with Cap. He's very straightforward, you know, and you knew exactly where you stood. So I don't want the storyline to be like, it was bad, and I think it just got blown out of proportion at the end of the year. However, I do think, you know, they were very analytically heavy, and so we were going to live and die by trying to gain every minor edge. And I think this is a blend of those two. You know, Boch was definitely old school players coach, but old school in the way that he managed the game and saw the game and so I think this new staff is kind of a blend of those two. We have some holdovers from our last staff, and so I think it's a really good blend of the two.
And then having guys that have been around the organization. Obviously, Bo Mel played for the team. We talked to Matt Williams earlier. Pat the Bat is now your hitting coach.
Yeah.
How cool is that, having that experience of all these Giants that have such a legacy with this organization?
It's awesome, and Bo Mel mentioned it in the first team meeting of you know, the importance of playing for what's on the front of the jersey and how much it means and how much legacy is involved with this organization. And, you know, you should feel immense pride putting on that jersey and coming to play for San Francisco. And I think trying to create that identity for this club of pride playing for the city, for the fans. And then, you know, teams are going to know who we are based on the way that we play. And I thought that was really cool and important to hear.
If you think about it, you played with Buster, you played with Pablo, you played with Crawford, you played with Belt, all those guys who were the iconic figures of the World Series, and now here you are with this whole new crew. Is there anything you can bring from that experience to this experience? I mean, you're not giving lectures, but I mean, just little things you can bring?
Yeah, I think it's the one-on-one conversations, you know, guys asking questions, not trying to like insert back in my day, you know, exactly. The guys that I saw, I think it's those one-on-one conversations and kind of like what I mentioned earlier is trying to set an example like that I learned from these guys. You know, when I came up, I just tried to follow Buster around. I tried to, you know, go into the video room when he was watching film and kind of like pick his mind and those kinds of conversations are what I want to try to pass on and then also just lead by the way that I work and the way that I do things on the field and what I saw that they did and that made them so successful.
And obviously, you have a bunch of experience playing outfield at Oracle Park. Sounds like this year you guys are going to have a new everyday center fielder in Jung Ho Lee. How have those conversations been so far? I know we're down here at Scottsdale, now Oracle, but talking about playing at that ballpark, and what have been some of your first impressions of him?
Yeah, no, I think he can really go get it in the outfield. So I think it's funny, like the guys that are just naturally good outfielders, you don't really have to talk to them a whole lot. You're just like, go get it. We'll see. I think we're still what, like 5 weeks out from going to Oracle. So those conversations I think will start happening a little closer to break about how we play our outfield differently. It's hard to envision when you're looking out at Scottsdale Stadium and you see 430 to center and 360 to left. And this comes with its own challenges. So we're going to figure this one out first, and then once camp starts, slimming down a little bit, and we start getting into closer to the season, we can start talking about the uniqueness of our ballpark and the difficulties that it presents with the sun and the wind and the big wall. So it'll be some good conversations.
Let's talk about you, Austin Slater, 31 now, a veteran. Excuse me, this is a compliment. You're your 8th year, going into your 8th year, right, in the bigs. I'm looking at the splits right here on my baseball reference page. Dude, just the absolute ownage of lefties. Is that your role? Are you here to be the veteran outfielder who destroys lefties? Is that on your locker plate right there?
It might be, but I always picture myself as an everyday guy. I see it as you get a certain number of opportunities in the big leagues, and every guy's chances are different based on the circumstances. And I haven't taken advantage of my right-handed at bats as much as I want to. But go back to the minors, and I could hit everyone. And so it's one of those things that you never want to like typecast yourself. I don't think it helps you get better every day if you're like, okay, I'm just going to focus on my strength. I want to focus on my whole game, the whole picture. If injuries happen, I want to be able to step in and help the club win, and whether it's right or left-handed pitchers. But if that's my role to start the year or throughout the whole year, I'm more than game, and I want to help this club win. And there's always going to be a job out there for a guy that can do that. So I'm not going to sit here and whine and cry about it. But in my mind, I think I'm an everyday guy, and but that doesn't mean I'm not going to cheer on my guys when I'm in the role of left-handed platoon. So it's something that I use in my head to try to keep getting better every day.
Now, how are you feeling physically coming to the season? I know you had an off-season surgery on your elbow. Where are you at with that, and how do you feel today going into spring training?
I feel great. I'm pretty much cleared. It's still getting the kinks and bruises out. With the arm, some just minor nicks and bruises, but I think I should be ready. Within the first couple games to go out there full bore and no restrictions. So that's going to be a nice change from last year. That's for sure.
And then just a personal question for me as someone who's had Tommy John surgery. I'm obsessed with guys like Shohei Ohtani or Brock Purdy and the internal brace surgery. What specifically surgery did you get on your elbow this offseason?
Yeah. So I had an ulnar nerve transposition. So they didn't have to repair anything. They just moved the nerve to the other side of my elbow and also took out bone spurs in the back of my elbow. So I was dealing with that pretty much second week of spring last year throughout the whole season.
Talking to Austin Slater here, the Stanford kid who makes his home in the city in the off season, which makes you unusual. Are you one of the only ones that does that, or
we had two other guys this year. We had Eric Miller and Tristan Beck live in the city. That's the biggest group we've had in a while. So that was great to see. We were able to go to Oracle, catch up, build the camaraderie from there. But yeah, call the city my home now. I'm a California guy, and I love it. Yeah.
Tell us about it. I mean, obviously, and listen, I'm born and raised in Marin County and lived in the city for many, many years, and so it's home for me too. We've been dealing with these national narratives. Buster made a comment that it might be harder because of a perception of the city to recruit a player or something like that. What's your take on all that?
Yeah, I mean, to say that the city doesn't have its problems is just not true, right? Like we live there, we get it. You go down to the Tenderloin and you don't really feel safe. So there is some truth behind it, but I like to push back on it because it's a 6x6 like block area, and if you let that part of the city define the whole city, it's just completely false, right? Like you just go to North Beach, you go out to Golden Gate Park, go to Land's End, like Presidio Park. There are so many beautiful parts of the city, and it's unfortunate because around the league, a lot of the teams stay right there, right next to the Tenderloin. They're staying at a hotel that's. I tell the guys that come visit, I'm like, don't take a left turn out of the hotel. Like you're gonna end up somewhere that you don't want to be. It's just every city has that though, New York, Chicago. It's just the hotels that the teams stay at are way further away from that, so you don't really see it. And so the picture in your head is a rosier picture of that city. And so it's just a little unfortunate that in San Francisco it's very close to the hotels, and it's become a lightning rod for political reasons, and unfortunately that's seeped through the entire media and the landscape of what guys think.
Yeah, but for you though, it's home because what do you love?
I love everything about it. The weather's great. Most of the time, I enjoy the weather. The views. I can walk down to the beach with my dog in 10 minutes, look at the Golden Gate Bridge, watch a sunset. Unbelievable food. Great bars. Tons of stuff to do. Like you could do something different every single night. And it's a walkable city in parts. And I think the neighborhoods each have their own little distinct vibe, and they're all so cool, and you can go to a different one every night. It's cool.
It's funny. So most of the family, you're still single, right?
No, I'm married.
Oh, I'm
married
sorry.
now.
My bad.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
He's got
That
the ring right in
happened,
front of you, Murph.
That happened last off season.
My bad.
No,
Congrats.
all good.
You and your lovely bride making your home in the city then.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Now-
some of the guys live over in the East Bay.
They do. Yeah.
And that's nice too. I mean, that's beautiful. So you could tell players, hey, listen, if the city's not your thing, there's this gorgeous Lafayette, Morocco.
And we're talking to a guy that went to Stanford. He knows all about living on the peninsula also.
Yeah.
Just tell them to go live down near Stanford.
Yeah.
Hang out at the Dutch Goose.
Yeah, Dutch Goose. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's so many places outside the city too. I think we haven't had a guy live North Bay in a while. On the other
Zito
side.
did that for a while.
Zito did. Tommy Listella was the last guy. I tell guys, hey, it's beautiful up there too. You could go Peninsula, East Bay. There's so many great spots. But yeah, it's one of those conversations we
can
have.
get you to run. There's a mayor election coming up. How about Mayor Slater?
He's got my vote, Murph.
Wasn't your grandpa like the mayor?
My
of
grandfather
Jacksonville?
was the mayor. Hey, maybe, you never know. Hey, I would like to think that I got a couple more years at
We
the
just
current
launched
job.
it.
There it is.
We just launched 2032 when you're done playing. Maybe, huh?
Yeah. That's.
I think we need you. I think the city needs Slater. I think Marcus knows this, but his grandfather's like one of the most famous mayors of Jacksonville ever, right? Or
Maybe I don't know about that, but he helped bring the Jaguars to town.
Yeah,
He
it's a
did
big deal.
some development projects there.
it's
That's
in your
good.
blood, brother.
Hey, maybe. Yeah,
But in the meantime, you got to go get some hits.
yeah
Right?
exactly. We'll worry about the task at hand.
Chase
right
down
now.
a couple fly balls. Do you stay in touch with the Stanford program at all, or?
A little bit, yeah. I follow from a distance. I mean, I would rather train at Oracle than go down to Stanford an hour and a half every day. So,
Right.
I keep in touch. I talk to Esker, the coach down there, every once in a while, and I'm always rooting for him. That's for sure.
Well, listen, it's always a great conversation, and we're proud to have you in the city here, brother.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
thanks for hopping on, man. And
Absolutely. Thanks
go
for
get
having
it
me.
today,
Yeah,
brother.
appreciate it.
Go
Awesome.
get
Thank
it.
you.
Will do.
Austin Slater, 2017, man.